I'm having a rebirth and I'm not going to be sick and I'm going to look super hot and have lots of energy and I'm just going to get to redo my 20s and my 30s.
So good. Extra weight I carry.
Put that out. The song title, because it would be Halsey So Good, and they would get the art on TikTok. If you're okay with those things but not announcing the date, then I think that we put that up like, honestly, I think we put that up like sometime between Monday and Wednesday whenever they can get the artwork ingested. What?
I just hate this.
Oh, I know. I hate it.
It's so... I started writing the album right around the same time I decided to try for a baby. There was actually like a moment I was like, ow, am I gonna be able to do this? I think that was too much.
These songs feel like I get goosebumps. You know, quite frankly, blown away by the songwriting.
Wow. I'm trying to run through, I was like, I got goosebumps from your songwriting. You what?
I am getting so many things that I never thought I'd have. A family, a baby, an album with collaborators that I've desired to work with. Like, am I that lucky that like I'm in that place in my career where I get to do cool shit like this? Like, really? I always want to give so much to my fans. But if I've learned anything from this experience, it's sometimes you have to just let the music and the art speak for itself. here's the album, here's the film, you decide. Hey guys, it's Halsey, and I have some very big news that I am very, very excited about. If you want to hear about it, you can download the AMP app and join me on the Zach Sang Show on Thursday, October 13th at 11 a.m. PST. Can't wait for you to find out.
complicated. What was I in the middle of answering? I'm working on a new album. Of course I am. There's so much I want to tell you guys about it. But it doesn't feel right to tell you until you kind of have to like experience it. It's not really something I can like explain without hearing it and getting the full context and the full picture. But yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm also super nervous about it.
Choking on my pride, so there's no use crying about it. I was a martyr, that Jesus was one too, but I was built from special pieces that I learned out. First it was my brain, then a skeleton in pain, and I don't like to complain, but I'm saying sorry. In the water there's a doctor who didn't listen to my claim. What a shame, he's circling a drain.
Punch it.
I knew it was the end of the world. Would you love me anyway?
Today is day 1 of treatment. Seriously. I feel like an old lady. I told myself I'm giving myself 2 more years to be sick. In 30, I'm having my...
Just telling your body no more of this?
Yeah, I'm at 30, I'm having a rebirth, and I'm not going to be sick, and I'm going to look super hot and have lots of energy, and I'm just going to get to redo my 20s and my 30s.
Too high. Does it all just to be liked by strangers that she met online? Did it all to be included? Everybody get in line to meet the girl who flew too high. Does it all just to be liked by strangers that she met online?
Halsey, what's going on? Hey, why'd your boyfriend break up with you? What did you do to piss him off?
You wanna see? Everybody get in line to meet the girl who flew too high. Does it all just to be liked by strangers that she met online?
I'm Halsey, and you're watching my TikTok.
Everybody get in line to meet the girl who flew too high. Does it all just to be liked by strangers that she...
Do one for what other social medias do you use?
Hi, I'm Halsey, and you're on my Twitter. You're watching my Tumblr.
What else is there? I don't use the internet. What else is on the internet?
Hi, I'm Halsey, and this is my wiki feed. 5 stars. I'm Halsey, and this is my Raya. Hi, I'm Halsey, and this is Doom.
Halsey, what's it like to be on house arrest? Show us the ankle bracelet.
Get a real job!
I'm so lucky. I'm a star, but I cry.
Halsey, forgot milk? Take 4. Mark?
Hi, I'm Halsey. Got milk? What the fuck is that?
Milk!
It's fucking disgusting. Am I supposed to fucking drink this?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Literal milk.
It tastes fucking rotten, dude. What the, is this cheese?
I mean, kinda.
What do you mean?
Like before they make cheese, it's milk.
What?
I'm so lucky. I'm a star, but I cry.
This was none of my contract! My agent is so gonna hear about this, I swear to God.
Halsey, do you have any comment?
This has been an exceptionally difficult time for me and my family, and I appreciate everybody respecting my privacy at this time. And I look forward to my day in court.
I'm so lucky. I'm a star,
You were found guilty on all charges.
but I cry.
This court finds you guilty on all charges.
Alright, look at I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna throw your grandma in the lake. I'm gonna burn your fucking house down. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna fuck your wife.
Wait, you didn't like that one?
No, I'm just trying not to pray.
That one.
So it's late and Lucky came out today, the video and the song, and I just feel really overwhelmed and really grateful, and been waiting a really long time to share this part of my my journey. And I just wanted to say that I've been reading comments from so many people who have been through or are going through some of the things that I have been writing about, and just wanted to say a special thank you to those of you who are in that position and seeing yourself or seeing your story or your journey or a part of it in what I've been making and releasing, and trying to say that I love you and I'm here for you, and we are in this together, and yeah, thank you so much.
Maybe I would premiere the second snippet here for you guys. I can't look, I'm too nervous.
My next trick is not mine at all. It's yours. Tomorrow, you will reveal the album cover for The Great Impersonator, along with 4 variants. I've hidden 5 time capsules from 5 different decades at special locations in the following cities: London, New York, Toronto, Los Angeles, and Sydney. I'll reveal the clues on my socials along the way. You must work together, as the next city's clues will not be revealed until the previous city is found. Go to thegreatimpersonator.com to watch and follow along. Don't blink, or you'll miss it.
Try to kill my ego, 'cause if I don't, my ego might kill me. I'm doing way worse than I'm admitting. I think that I should try to kill my ego, 'cause if I don't, my ego might kill me. It's all done now, so who am I kidding? I'm doing way worse than I'm admitting. I think that I should try to kill my ego.
Hey. Hey, can I ask you something?
Yeah?
How do you say my name?
Ashley.
Yeah. So, it's come to my attention that a lot of people on the internet think that I'm doing an accent in Maxine, and they think that it's a bad fake accent.
Well, because you're talking like I talk?
Well, that's what I was trying to explain to everyone, is I was trying to explain that I'm not doing an accent in Maxine. When you hear me talk as Halsey, that's when I'm doing an accent.
Yeah, this is how we talk at home.
Yeah. Well, I love you.
Ashley, I love you.
I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow too.
Bye.
So I'm about to give away a song title.
Do it.
It's the song called Arsonist. It had a couple different iterations, and it wasn't sounding quite the way I wanted it to. And I went in one night with Michael Uzi, who was a producer across most of the record, and he's incredible. He's worked with Frank Ocean, SZA, Beyonce, like he's amazing. And
I walked in with him one night and we redid the entire song, top to bottom, new vocals, everything in like 30 minutes because we were just trying out an exercise with it. And it ended up being so good that after months of working on this song, this version we made in 30 minutes is the one that ended up on the record.
Wow.
And now it's one of my favorites.
Can't walk a straight line, feel so low, but I'm high at the same time. I can't keep my feet on the ground, and I'm nervous what you'll think of me now. Still a little kid that can't make friends. Wanna be invited, but I won't attend. I've been having bad days, my career could end because I slip up when I should have played pretend. Turned 18 and
I don't. It's a double disc because I make albums.
Wow.
Halsey's Face. Order now. The disc itself is so sick. It's a 5-ball.
Whoa.
Get them now. Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. Whoa.
It's me. But like it's actually me. It's
Yeah.
you. You're Halsey.
Whoa. And then
Unless you want
Halsey to be Halsey.
Halsey to be Halsey.
And then Halsey's Halsey.
But then you can also take other Halseys. You can make those Halseys into different weird Halseys.
Yeah,
Y2K
Halsey.
face on 90s body. Weird.
Strange and
Who's
surreal.
that? It's so cool. It's me.
Hit me.
Yeah, girl.
body in pain, and you can rest your head down and not feel any shame. I never loved you. reaching its highest. Sound of sirens, rush of pain. I almost thought I heard you call my name.
I'm having a rebirth and I'm not going to be sick and I'm going to look super hot and have lots of energy and I'm just going to get to redo my 20s and my 30s.
I can't believe this is on television right now.
In here lies the Great Impersonator.
There's an ancient saying that you have 3 faces. The first one you broadcast to the world, the second you show to those closest to you, and the last one you never show to anyone. The first one is Halsey. The second is Ashley. But there's a third that exists in the cracks between the two, the most carnal, uninhibited, explicit flash of color and light hiding in the center of my chest. I'm Halsey, Ashley, and I'm offering you a glimpse of that third face.
I think I'm special 'cause I cut myself wide open, as if it's honorable to bleed.
Okay, so that's crazy listening to that. My favorite part of it is obviously Ender yelling "Let's go." It's probably my favorite part of the song just because I think you could tell that the whole world is crashing down around me, and then his little voice just comes in, and I just love that he says "Let's go" because it's we're in it together, kind of. It's like a little buddy. I wrote this song initially really sad. This was initially a really, really sad song. I couldn't even play it for my friends because they would cry when I would play it. And I was in the studio with Michael Uzi and Alex G in New York at Electric Lady, and we were working on this song, and Alex was like, "What if you did it differently?" And I was like, "No, it's so sad. It's gotta be sad." And he was like, "No, what if you did it kind of it's when a stand-up comedian is on stage and they're being kind of self-deprecating about something that's really sad?" And I was like, "I do know that very well because that's basically what I do on stage myself." And I was like, "That's really interesting." So I got in front of a mic and I started singing it to my friends, to Alex and Michael and Anthony and everyone behind the glass, and they all just started making these silly faces at me and just trying to make me laugh while I was singing it. And it was really funny to be singing something that was so sad, but looking at this room full of my friends and them making me laugh. I felt very much like I was singing about something. I sang it for the first time it was in the past, not it was actually happening. I felt like I'd kind of, I don't know, surpassed it or beaten it in that moment, and it was really beautiful. I have really incredible footage too of that happening. They're all just banging on the glass, and they would pop into the talkback, which is when the engineer at the desk, I can hear their voice through the headphones when I'm in the booth recording, and they were just saying crazy, stupid, funny things at me. It's a real brotherhood vibe.
Please God, I don't wanna be sick. I don't wanna hurt
All right, let's start the time travel, because I think you guys might have noticed that I sort of I open the album kind of amorphously, and then the time travel starts. Because I know it was really confusing to get kind of like these like 90s-ish songs and then jump into the 70s, but I felt like I really had to set the tone for the record. Start with Only Living Girl, then tell you about my ego death, and then tell you about, you know, I'm here and I'm fighting with God. And now I'm gonna tell you my story. So then I kind of take you back in time to tell you my story right here with Letter to God, 1974, which was obviously recorded live in the beautiful A room at Henson Studios. Everyone is playing on this record. It's me, my childhood best friend Erica, singing the harmonies in the room with me. Some of the voices you might hear in there are Caleb, who is the vocal producer on the record. Anthony is playing piano. He's going to be really embarrassed that I just said that, but he is. Anthony's playing piano. And Alex is playing, and Sean, who's another producer and engineer on the album, is playing, and Michael was popping in and out. Just kind of all of us just playing like we were a band. A lot of this album was made like I was in a band, which I really loved, because albums have been such a solitary act for me for so long, and I feel like I kind of got out of my comfort zone with Trent and Atticus, with If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power, and I've gotten more and more excited about making a record in the context of kind of like being in a band again, being with the bros. I don't know. This interlude, actually, you guys should look this up after this station head. This interlude is inspired by a really cool performance of Stevie Nicks singing Wild Heart in a soundcheck on stage. And someone's, I think her sister, is like touching up her makeup and her hair, and she's just like sitting on the edge of the stage, and the band is kind of playing like off screen, and she's singing in the room, and she's this incredible, powerful voice, and she just sounds amazing, and like the room noise is so incredible, and it just sounds so live, and so it's just such a moment, and I really wanted this to sound like this, which is why we recorded it this way. This is Letter to God, 1974. Twisty about it. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard the beginning of River by Joni Mitchell, you know, where you kind of get that little bit of Jingle Bells, and it's like, even though it's not a Christmas song, she's singing about Christmas, but like, you know, there's something about this that kind of has that feeling, that like it feels nostalgic in like a visiting your family for Christmas way. Like, you can just tell it's winter. I don't know how, but you can just tell. It's cozy and you know, the deer and all of that. Feels like a faded photograph, and I really, really love that so much. And obviously it's the first part in the Letter to God series, and I'm talking about, you know, being a child and being a lonely kid, and you know, wishing that I could get love and I could get attention. And you know, I feel like this is like a really common theme amongst young kids, but you know, you see like a kid at school with like a broken arm, or like you see someone that's, you know, been sick or that's been through a loss, and like you can't really understand or empathize how terrible it is. You're not really old enough yet to understand how terrible what they're going through is. All you can really see is that they're just getting so much love, and you're so jealous. And you almost wish you could be in the same situation as them, but you don't really quite know what you're asking for. Even if it's just a private feeling, you know what I mean? It's just kind of just like reflecting on that in this lonely moment in the backseat of a car, just feeling invisible, kind of, and just sort of scheming on ways to get love and get attention. Yeah, a lot of inside thoughts on this album that became outside thoughts, for sure.
That's a good song. I love that song so much. And it was so fun to make, and there's so many incredible musicians who came in to be a part of it, and it's just so like musical. It's like the most like analog, like musical sounding song that I have, and we ran a lot of it through like 1970s tape and like from the era equipment, you know, to make this song have that really authentic 70s feel in the instrumental, which I love so much. So this next song doesn't really require much introduction because you guys have had it for a really long time. It's definitely one of the saddest songs I've ever written in my life, and it was the first song, or one of the first songs, I think it was the first song that I wrote when I was thinking about, you know, am I going to make an album right now, you know, because I knew I was home, I knew I was sick, I didn't know for how long, or, you know, I didn't know how bad it was going to get or how good it was going to get or what the future held, and it was really just blank space in front of me. Like, I couldn't schedule or plan or do anything because I didn't know if I was, you know, on my way to getting better or if I was on my way to living in a hospital. I just decided to write because I was like, you know, you know, writing doesn't mean that has to come out, and if, you know, I'll just be happy to have it no matter what happens. You know, I told you guys a little bit when this song first came out, but you know, I have two sicknesses that I'm gonna have for the rest of my life, and it's a constant balancing act, and things are constantly changing, and you know, it can go from being really scary to really optimistic, you know, within the week. And that was really hard to get used to at first. Was just that constant up and down of like living in that space in between. And now, you know, it's been a couple of years, so I've gotten used to it, at least as used to it as you possibly can. One of the things that's really interesting about this song is that there's a mechanical noise at the end of the record. I don't think I've ever actually really talked about this, but there's I just got a cool pop-up that we reached a streaming goal, which is awesome. Thank you, guys. That's freaking sick. There's a mechanical noise at the end of the song, and it's the sound of my treatment pump. It's the vroom, 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 vroom. It's the sound of the machine that was administering my treatment, and it was a sound that I was hearing over and over and over and over again for hours every week, and I just had to bake it into the record because it became just part of the music of my life. It was the music that was happening around me all of the time, and you'll hear it at the end. The song's biblical in ways. A lot of this record is about me kind of like reckoning with like faith and fate and all of that. But despite how sad it is, I do think it's probably the most beautiful song I've ever made, and I'm really, really proud of it. I think it's just beautiful. I really do. I know it's been out for a while, but I hope you guys still love it. It's called The End, even though it was the beginning. I mean, Alex just absolutely just crushed the guitar on this one. It is so, so beautiful. It reminds me of like, I don't know, like someone said I thought those were frogs. They do sound like frogs. That's actually really funny, and I'm gonna take that with me into all my future treatment. And yeah, it was the sound that we put on for my last Trick website. Yeah, it was the machine noise that we recorded. It's kind of like a little entry point into my world before I, you know, told you guys what was going on. And I'm just really grateful that it's a part of the album no matter what, because, you know, I I still get, some of you guys probably don't know this, but I still get treatment every month. And probably will for the rest of my life. So, you know, I'm just in and out of work and the shows and everything like that. You know, I'm still kind of coming back to this place. My health is stable. I'm good. I am having a great time, you know, getting on stage and promoting this record, and I'm definitely in like a super stabilized place. But this is like, you know, this is a perpetual experience, and I think some of these songs I'm gonna circle back to them, and they're gonna feel, they're gonna continue to feel relevant. So despite this being like a really singular experience that I'm writing about in like a really specific time in my life, I do think that it's going to continue to be relevant for a very long time. And this is one of those songs that I'm just really grateful for. Okay, big tears time. This song, I think I said this in an interview, and I think it's on the Genius page, but I'll just reiterate really quick. When I was working on this album in New York, I got really sick. I ended up in the hospital. And I'm sure you're thinking, this bitch is always sick. Yeah, I was. I don't know what to tell you. That's what the reality was. I left like one of the last nights in the studio, and I went to the hospital in New York, and my mom lives in New Jersey, and I was like, I don't remember doing this, but I was just like, I was in the bed, I guess, and I was just like begging for my mom, which is how you know that I was down bad, because I was begging for my mother. And she drove in from New York to come and spend the night with me in the hospital. And after like, you know, just hours of being there, I went home and went back to the hotel, and I got in bed, and my mom just sat next to me, and she just watched me sleep to make sure that I, you know, was like breathing and stuff, because she's a mom. And the next morning, she wanted to drive with me to the airport when I was leaving, and she had just gotten no sleep, and I was just in the hospital, and it was just such a intense morning, and I'm like going to the airport to leave, and I was like, oh, I wrote this song about you like 2 days ago, and I played her the demo, and she just started crying. And she was like, that's really messed up to play this song to me right now. And I guess I hadn't really thought about it, and I was like, you're right, this is super messed up. And but I just looked at her, and I just loved her so much, and I was so grateful to her, and I just loved her, and I love her, but I just loved her so much in that moment. And my mom has been through a lot in the past year, and she'll share, you know, that story when she's ready to share it. But I was just like, gosh, we are so the same in so many ways. And, you know, if you told me when I was a kid that I was going to grow up to be like my mom, I would have hated it. And now one of the things I'm the most grateful for is to be like my mom. And I hope that Ender feels the same way about me one day. And this is I Believe in Magic. Yeah, that's a sad song. They're all sad songs, but it's so sweet. I love it. And I think that it really captured something really beautiful, which is how tender and loving and gentle my son is. And I love that I have that immortalized, because he really is just the most tender and gentle and loving boy. There's a couple little comments in the chat that I wanted to. I noticed one that was like, "This is a callback to dog years," and yes, it is, because you know, I say I believe in heaven if they'll never let me in. You know, and obviously earlier I'm saying, you know, please let me in, let me come inside. And then there was a question, I think, about why the roots are above and the branches are down below, why the tree is upside down. And it's because, you know, my mother is my roots and my son is my
my branches, is, you know, the growth of me extending outwards. And so, you know, my mother is above me, and my son, like the way that I'm growing is down below. You know, that's just gonna keep going. And yes, exactly. Someone said the apple tree, apple's rolling real far from the tree. And so, you know, that's the tree.
Be sick, and I don't wanna hurt, so get it over with quick. Please God, I wanna be loved. I don't wanna be somebody you're trying to get rid of. There's a place way down in Bed-Stuy where a boy lives behind bricks.
And this goes into Letter to God 1983, which is an extension of the Letter to Gods. And this is the part where I'm, you know, it's a little bit, it's about like kind of about me becoming Halsey. It's like I'm in New York and then I'm in LA, and it's kind of just like this moment of like, oh no, am I sick? Because when I was a kid, I asked to be, you know, were my reckless thoughts as a young person about, you know, the way that I felt about myself, or maybe times where I didn't so much want to be alive, you know, before I learned so much and, you know, learned so much about the world and felt such a deep responsibility to stay here and to be here. Did all of that, you know, did I manifest a thing, you know, a reckoning with a fate that I designed for myself in a way. But no, I don't think that's how things work. I think these are just kind of the existential ramblings of a person who's just figuring that out as it's happening to her. And it sounds like a fucking live Bruce Springsteen concert, which is so cool, and tees up the track that follows it quite nicely. And yeah, this is Letter to God. Oh, and I think you guys will be happy to know that the crowd that you hear in this song is an actual Halsey crowd that I sampled. And it's you guys. So you don't know, if you've ever been to a Halsey concert, you might be on this song. You might be a feature. This is Letter to God, 1983. It's about a lot of different people. It's like it's about a combination of people. Some people that I grew up with, and, you know, I think like I was having a lot of feelings about, like I was having like survivor's guilt a little bit. Like I was feeling like bad for myself kind of, but then also thinking about kids I grew up with who didn't get to see it past 16 or 17 or whatever, and thinking like, you know, I've already done so much that they will never get to do. You know, it was just, I think when you're from a small town, for whatever paranormal reason, a lot of people pass young, you know? And there's like a survivor's guilt about that, especially when you're a person who kind of got out of that town. it's a hard listen, I think, and I got a lot of texts from people from my hometown when it came out. But I do think that there's like sort of like a sweet optimism about it too, just kind of like, you know, immortalizing them in a way as well. And I'm grateful to have that perspective on the record. Yeah, I think it's a real small town song, and I freaking love that. I love that about it, and I hope that it's like, even if you're obviously not from where I'm from, it can feel like your hometown in a way too.
Wasn't her fault, it was there from the start. Trying to love you through an open wound, 'cause everything I put inside there just fell right through. We got carried away. Can I take how much more? Can I take? And I don't wanna carry the weight. Love was just a currency, so take my pockets, take me home. You took my life and took my soul, wrap me in a wedding ring. You know I swear I'll give you everything. You can donate all the money to somebody in pain, and you can rest your head down and not feel any shame. I never loved you.
It's a tough listen, you know? He's a was a hard decision putting this on the album, but I felt like it was the most important song on the record. And you know, it's difficult to listen to. I know that it is, but I also think that it's I think it's the most complete record I've ever made. The storytelling is so cohesive, and it's just buttoned up so nicely. And you know, it's about a very, very real feeling that I was having. And I'm gonna give Anthony some points here. I told Anthony about it offhand in the car one day. I was like, oh, I have this poem I'm working on. It's about like being a spider and like feeling like it's like comparing yourself to a spider, seeing yourself through the eyes of a spider and being like, I'm just trying to exist. And, you know, everywhere I go, I'm treated like I'm a burden or a danger or a problem. And it's just like, you know, the fear that you might be destroyed simply for existing. And obviously, you know, the feeling quite literally like a spider because I was in such poor health, and feeling especially like a spider, just being on the floor in that bathroom, very sick from treatment, and you know, with my hands out and my legs out, like spider shaped in a way. Anyway, I told him about it once, and then when we were working on the record, he was like, what about that spider thing? Because obviously, you know, Life of the Spider was part of the tour, because I was working on this whole poem series for a very long time, but I couldn't figure out how to finish it. And then I had a life experience that made that concept make sense to me, and I understood then exactly how to finish it. So it went from kind of this, you know, this loose artistic concept that felt relevant to the show that I was putting on. Then I walked away from it, and then Anthony kind of brought it up, and I remember saying to him in the studio, I was like, it's not even a song, you know? And he was like, well, it could be. And I was like, shut up. And he was like, I was so stressed working on the other stuff, and he was just like, I really think we should give this the Life of the Spider thing a try. I really think we should go back to it. He was like, I just remember how much I loved it. And I was like, it's not a song yet. You've never even heard it. He was like, yeah, but I feel like I would love it. And so I was like, oh gosh. I was like, okay. I was like, give me 10 minutes. And I sat down and I just locked in with that feeling, and I locked in with that metaphor. And I just wrote this really just from like a deep place inside. And it all just made sense to me in that moment. And I sat down, you know, and I played it, and we recorded it, and this is what it is. And it was obviously devastating. You know, the whole room was quiet, but it's not that sad for me to listen to anymore, because every time I hear it, I just think about Anthony being like, see? And that makes me, it gives me like I hope for you guys, like, when you listen to it now, just picture Anthony being like, come on, do the spider thing. And that kind of makes it a little bit easier to listen to. I'm so grateful to have people around me. I think that, you know, sometimes you could be too close to something, or you can't tell which parts of your story are worth it because they all feel relevant to you, or they don't feel relevant to you because you're so close to them. And having people who see you for who you really are, helping you sort through and sift through these things are so essential.
and I don't wanna carry the weight.
God, but you meant yourself disguised as God, but you think that you met a God who justifies all of your actions and agrees with everything that you've done.
They know you walk like you're a god. They can't believe I made you weak.
Arsonist, a song that I wrote and had a version of it that I loved for quite some time. That was kind of like, I originally envisioned this song as sort of like a Portishead meets Fiona Apple kind of Massive Attack kind of song. And then like 2 days before I turned the album in, I reproduced the entire thing in like 30 minutes. And it was a great decision, because this version of it is excellent. This is Arsonist. As hell, I love that song. I think this is probably some of, if I'm gonna say about myself, I think this is some of my best lyrical work maybe ever. As I said that, someone said that in the chat, that's so funny. Yeah, some of my favorite parts in this song are am I a victim in your game? Am I a set of antique plates? Will you pass me through your bloodline with your ornamental rage? I just think that there's something really interesting about that lyric, and I really love the lyric as well. Your human starter kit came incomplete. Just a great. It's like a lot of words to say something that means little words, but I just love it. I love it so much, and I just love the outro, and that's Michael's voice on the outro, and he surprised me with that. He kind of just like added it, and I just thought it was so cool. And there's a lot of the quote unquote the band, you know what I mean, like the band that I assembled to like make this album across this this whole record. I saw someone asking earlier, the voice at the beginning of Hometown is Alex. He was playing so many different instruments. Like, we were just throwing him in. I was like, can you play guitar on this? Can you play drums on this? Can you play this? Can you play this on this? Can you play this on this? And so he got into the booth to start tracking something for Hometown. And because he'd been playing so many instruments, because he's so talented, he literally says, wait, I'm playing the drums, right? Because he wasn't sure which instrument he was supposed to be playing. I just loved it so much that I wanted to keep it. So, you know, he's on Hometown, and then this is Michael doing the at the end of this one. I just love having their personalities all throughout the record. And, you know, obviously I talk a lot in the bridge of the song about, you know, meeting God or thinking you're a god or false gods, or kind of like, you know, there's a lot of motifs of that through there. And I love how that connects to the reversed vocals at the end of the song, because they're referential in a way to young God, you know, which I think is really, is a really cool through line in the record. I feel like there's a lot of boyish energy on this album, obviously just because of how much I'm referencing my son, but also, you know, when I'm talking about my childhood, my hometown, and like, you know, I made this record with like a bunch of brothers that talk about, you know, football and like, you know, there's something I really like about that. Yeah, it is like, I know it's like a outdated expression, but just like, it is kind of like it reminds me of what people used to call me when I was little, which is like a tomboy. You know what I mean? And you can really hear that in the record. And I think you can especially hear it kind of on this next song, which is very bratty in my opinion. And the reason I put it at track 2 is because I had to break my ego down to make this record and to get better and all that. You know, I had to kind of like, I had to get rid of my ego. I had to give up the part of me that wanted to look pretty and win all the time and be number one and exhaust myself. And, you know, I had to really surrender to what was happening to me, and it really made me reevaluate my art. And so I wanted to start this record with that journey and tell you, hey, this is a record that's been made by a person who has reevaluated everything about the way that they make art. And here's a little bit how that happened. Here's how that ego death occurred. Ego. Interesting because I was in a session with Greg Kurstin, who's like an exceptional producer. And you guys are familiar with his work, whether you know it or not. I've been working with him for a really long time. I made You Should Be Sad with him. I made 3 a.m. with him. I made Devil in Me with him. Angel on Fire with him. I made Sorry with him. I made Strangers with him. Yeah, so basically most of your favorite songs I did with Greg. He's an incredible instrumentalist, and like every time he touches a piano or a guitar, he just pulls like the greatest top line out of me every single time. And I feel like he really inspires really great melodies and really cool lyrics, because we always create such a world together. And I love working with him because I can basically say like, hey, can you make me a song that sounds like, you know, for example, with You Should Be Sad. I was like, can you make me a song that sounds like country but industrial? And most producers would be like, what? And he was like, yeah. And immediately started with like, and I was like, yeah, I mean, exactly like that. Thank you. And then I had already written You Should Be Sad actually, but besides the point, I walked into the session with Greg and I was super unprepared. And it was my first session with him for this album. And I was sitting in the room and he was like, what do you got? And I was like, shit. It's like, I got nothing. And I don't want to disappoint Greg. I don't know what to do. I got nothing. I don't have anything. And I just pulled out a guitar. I was like, oh, I've got something I've been working on for a while. And he was like, yeah, let me hear it. Still at this point have nothing. And I just start playing guitar. And I just go, think that I should try to kill my ego. 'Cause if I don't, my ego might kill me. I'm all grown up, but somehow lately acting like a fucking baby. Da-da-da-da-da-da, something like that. I don't know. And I just went like that. And he was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, yeah. Been working on that for a while. And I just stuck by that lie for the rest of the day, which I think is very fitting for a song about what it's about, that I was like so unwilling to be embarrassed or like admit that I was unprepared, that I like forced myself into making something, because, you know, it's connected obviously to what the
what the song is about. Anyway, it ended up great, so I'm super happy with it. And it was not the first nor the last time that I did something like that on this album. So I'll tell you a little bit more about those songs as they go. And we're gonna go to the first of the 90s portion, not the first 90s song, but the first of the 90s section of this record, which is really cool because there's layers of references in this record, you know, because this song is kind of me doing Radiohead and Radiohead doing Bowie. Yeah, everybody in the chat is like, neurodivergence unite. Yes, that is absolutely what this song is about. It's about, do I know how to person correctly? Because I don't really feel like I do. Just, you know, it's kind of that feeling of like looking around at everybody else and being like, what do you understand that I don't? What do you understand about social interactions and, you know, rules and relationships and just everything that I'm apparently just keep getting so wrong. And the reason it's called Darwinism is because it's, you know, it's kind of this idea of like, what if I evolved differently, or if I evolved wrong? What if everybody else, you know, developed in a way that I didn't? You know, it starts with the, if I'm made for land and not for sea at all, could I crawl and find some kind Neanderthal? It's like that starting of the universe, or my own universe, and then the, what if I'm from outer space and I have fire in my bones and in my veins? I let it show and scare my suitors far away. You know, it's kind of like you show your magic or you show your special alien parts, and then people recoil and freak out and don't like it. I leave them traumatized with visions of its glow behind my face. They say that God makes no mistakes, but I might disagree. Yeah, it's just really, it's really about just feeling wrong. If everyone has someone, then the math isn't right. I'm the only outlier, the lonely archetype. And obviously my favorite lyric in the song is you all know something that I don't, you all grew body parts, I fear I'll never grow. Because it's metaphorical, but also it's just like, you know, like I'm the fish. Being like, why didn't I get legs? I just love this song so very much. This next song started as a poem that I wrote a couple years ago when my dog Jagger passed away. He passed really unexpectedly, and it was really hard for me. So I wrote this poem and I kind of walked away from it. And Jagger got sick, and he was sick in a way that was going to really hurt him and be really painful. And so it was recommended, you know, that we help him die painlessly. And so this was my first experience with this, but I was there, you know, for the process of, I guess what they call, you know, putting a dog down.
And I just kind of like held him while it happened. And so again, this really sterile environment, and it was just so sad. And but I was also so like unnerved and confused by being in kind of that environment. And not to get too dark, but when I got really sick and I was spending a lot of time in hospitals and spending a lot of time in doctor's offices, and I was in this much pain as I was in, I was thinking about how when an animal is in too much pain, you know, the humane thing to do is to not let them suffer. And I think at some of the, you know, the worst parts of my illness, I was kind of entertaining just thought experiment conversations with myself in my mind, just thinking about, you know, why it's different for humans, I guess. I was kind of drawing this parallel between me and my dog, and in that environment, and thinking about what it would be like, you know, to see him again. But the song is also kind of about me confronting God and being like, I'm essentially standing at the gates of heaven, being like, I've been a really good dog. Can I come inside? You know, like, can I come in the house? Even though maybe I haven't been such a good dog. But can you please let me in to the big house? And if you're not going to let me, then at least let me choose my own fate. Yeah, I'm watching the chat right now. It's a heavy record. It's a super heavy record, but it's also really sexy and really cool, and I love playing it live, and it's obviously inspired by PJ Harvey. It's a little bit Rid of Me, a little bit Down by the Water, and I just think it's like a really cool song. It's got kind of this like BDSM undertone, which obviously I love putting in my records all the time, because I just think that power dynamics are really fun to explore in music. And this is about the ultimate power dynamic. It's about you and God. This is Dog Years. Sweet little puppy. Who deserves to have his little voice immortalized. Yeah, so that song is crazy. I don't even know that I have the time to get into all the lyrics on that one. But while it was playing, I was having a discussion in the room here, and I was really surprised that everybody thought this song was sad. I didn't think that this song was sad, and then when the record came out, there's so many people being like, oh my god, I cried when I heard this song, or like, the song is so sad. And I was like, oh, I thought this was like a song for romantic times. I don't know if I can say, there's probably young people listening in here, but like, I kind of thought it was like a special playlist song, if you know what I'm saying. And now I'm realizing that something is just like deeply wrong with me. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be on everybody's special playlist. And now I'm finding out that everyone just cried hysterically when they heard it for the first time. So I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah. But like, maybe like when you've listened to it enough times and it's not sad anymore, then like it'll be able to be that. I just always thought I thought it was hot. I thought the song was kind of hot. I don't know. It's Adam's favorite song, so I guess maybe he sees it the same way I do. But you know, I'm sorry if it was sad. Anyway, my favorite line in that song. Well, there's a lot of favorite lines in that song. I love the chocolate cake line, because when do you get to say chocolate cake in a song in a serious way? But I just love it as the idea of like, you know, once you're finally passed on, you get to have this like, you know, all the things that you didn't get to have in your mortal life or whatever. Because like nothing can touch you, nothing can harm you. Like, you know, the things that you wanted so bad that could have killed you, you get to have in another, you know, once you're beyond. And also obviously, you know, the trying to be positive, but it's really hard.
I love that one. I especially love it because it connects back to Letter to God 1983, where I say I'm making jokes about the blood test because I obviously a couple songs previous make a joke about blood tests. But yeah, love that record so much. And I play some guitar on it, and it's just sick. I just love it.
Please God, I'm finally loved. I finally found somebody I don't wanna get rid of.
And apologies in advance because we're now about to go into a sad song about mothers and sons. This is Letter to God 1998, and obviously, you know, there's a reference to Are You That Somebody and the Timbaland crying vocals. I use like a really young a voice clip of Ender that I have from when he was a really little baby where he goes, ah! And it's like one of the first like noises he was ever making, like little babbles, and I baked it into this song, and I still get full body goosebumps every time I hear the part where I say, who's your favorite singer? And he says, Mommy. It just like, it gives me full body goosebumps. It feels really profound for some reason. I know it's just a silly little conversation, but something about it carries so much weight, and it like just brings tears to my eyes. You know, and this is the part of the record where I really start confronting God, and I say, you've got to be sick. What the hell are you doing? You know, just looking at him in one of the hardest times of my life and wishing so badly that I could have been better, and knowing that I was trying my hardest, and it was very bittersweet, you know, because so many of you guys know how much I wanted him. It was a weird feeling to have. And I love this song so much. And it kind of reminds me of some of like that early production on Badlands or HFK, some of the like Lido production. So it feels really referential, and it feels like a callback to some of my earlier music, and I feel like that style really kind of defined, you know, my artistry in the early years, and I love hearing it here. This is Letter to God, 1998. That some of you guys in the chat are like, why is it so short? And I like that because in the song I say, why do you make it hurt and why is it over so quick? Haha. So, you know, I feel like those are
connected in a way. Yeah, the song is aware of itself in a way. This album is aware of itself in a way. I feel like it's strange to make an album that's aware that it's an album. You know what I mean? I made this next record, and it just reminds me of when I was a little kid and how much I wanted to be, you know, how much I wanted to be a star, and having no idea what that was going to be like, or what it was going to mean. And that, you know, the song is, I'm addressing, you know, the way people were making me feel in this time of my life, but I'm also kind of addressing myself. I'm kind of also poking fun at myself, you know, being like, oh, you're so lucky. So it's a little facetious, I guess. And I think that this song is really important in the context of the record. I think that it makes perfect sense in the context of this record. And I said this earlier when the record first came out, but I feel like it means even more now. You know, I love the laughter in the song because I feel like so much of this album feels like being a little kid and everybody's laughing at you. And like the laughter is just so like mean popular girl in school coded. And I feel like it still like affects you as a grown-up in a way. You're lucky. Love that song so much. So grateful to Brittany, and it's just like a absolute, you know, fundamental part of this album to me. It feels so like it's so much the essence of me. Also, I want to take a second while we're talking about children and inner child and child music fans. Nessa, I saw you in the chat and I saw that you're listening with Aiden, and I want you to make sure you tell him that I say hello, okay? Rage. Lots of rage. I know a lot of you guys have been talking about wanting to hear me make more music like this, and I certainly want to. I think that, you know, I had to write an album that was true to, you know, what was happening to me, and to be honest with you, there was rage, but I was just really tired and sad. I didn't have the energy to be angry. It was like a different experience, I think. And you know, there's quiet rage on this album for sure. but I love this genre, and I love making music in this space. I love performing it, and I think, you know, it's certainly like a very integral part of my you know, my identity as an artist. I'm so happy you guys loved it so much. I'm so grateful to have people around me. I think that, you know, sometimes you can be too close to something, or you can't tell which parts of your story are worth it because they all feel relevant to you, or they don't feel relevant to you because you're so close to them. And having people who see you for who you really are, helping you sort through and sift through these things are so essential. This song, you know, is about, I think about our relationships in life, kind of like these nesting dolls, you know what I mean? Where it's like my relationship with my father has affected my relationships with my partners in my life, and those relationships have affected my relationship with my son, and my relationship with my son affects my relationship with my father, and my relationship with my father affects my relationship. It's like all of it is just connected, you know, quite like a web, but also just in these nesting dolls. And so I think there's a lot of exploration of that in this record as well. And you certainly hear that on this next one. And I wanted this one to feel like a song that I would have played in my bedroom when I was younger, and these feelings were really taking shape. And I unfortunately knew that this one would connect with so many of you. And I think it's a really important song. And I don't know of a lot of songs that, like, you know, are, I think, kind of feel the way that this one does. And so I'm really proud of it for how uniquely it exists, I guess. This is Hurt Feelings. I love that song so much. And, you know, to keep with the theme of magic on the record, obviously this stiffer than a board, lighter than a feather, just like so teenage sleepover coded, and it just really like transports me back in time. You know, when I hear it, and this makes that world so much. It's just like the idea of like wishing you could do magic to make things like different or better, like, you know, being younger and wishing you could just have any sort of power or control. Obviously the bridge is my favorite part. The bridge is so beautiful, and this was a really important song for me, and I think that it was a record where I really wanted to challenge myself and sort of, you know, what kind of an artist am I if I can't be authentic about what I'm really feeling and what's real to me, no matter how hard it is to say and hard it is to get it out there. And, you know, so much of this record was about exploring how authentic have I been, and in what areas have I been too scared to say what I've needed to say. And I also think becoming a parent was one of the things that I needed to overcome, that lingering fear, you know, that is programmed into us as a child, you know. It's like my inner child, I think, had the emotional steering wheel for a little while. And then when I became a parent, I finally had the faculties to hold her, to hold that little girl and make her feel held and address things like this. It was really important. And for that same inner child,
What do you mean it's not happening? What am I gonna do with all this stuff? Oh, God.
and now, you know, I've really avoided for years, I think, with the exception of songs like Alone or maybe like Still Learning, writing too much from the perspective of a, I guess like a celebrity as opposed to an artist, because it's just not interesting to me, really. But because I was thinking a lot about legacy and like, you know, the what does my work become when I'm not here to defend or explain or give context to it, I started thinking about it a lot more. And I feel like I reference it quite a lot on this record, and the record is so aware of that. And I think so much so in this very last song. I just love this song. And I wish I could tell you how or why I chose the that was not me. Someone else took over my body in that moment. That was not a plan. That was not thought out. I was just in front of the microphone, and it just felt, I was singing it from the top of the song to the bottom of the song. It was all written out. It was a story. And I think I got the early sense that there was too much space in between those lines, and I wanted to fill it with something. And for whatever reason, I just went, and I loved it so much. And it just felt perfect. It felt like it just felt like it already existed, and I felt like a sleight of hand in a way, like almost a distraction. Like the ahs are supposed to like keep you from really thinking about what those words are saying in between. And I sound like a puppet whose strings have just been pulled, and she's been, you know, pulled into a standing position, like an you know, like I'm back, I'm up, I'm standing, I'm ready to perform again. And I love it so much, and I'm so happy it's here. And I don't know where the choice came from, but that's the most incredible thing about, you know, making records like this, is when you can relax and be confident and vulnerable enough to try stuff out, even maybe if it's going to sound silly or weird, because that's kind of where the best things come from. And it's by far the best part of the whole album is just that little vocal clip. I just think it's so sticky, and it just makes me love this song so much more. And yeah, my first album with a title track, and I think appropriately so, because again, it's an album that's aware that it's an album in some ways, and it almost feels like a closure of some kind, like it's finishing. It's a final statement. It's a statement of finality in a way, and it's real, man. It's real, you know. No one has to know. I can always hide. It's about that time I took, that break I took, and being being sick. Though sometimes it might get to me, the things on all their minds, like the things people were saying about me, and, you know, feeling like I wanted to explain, but I wasn't quite ready to. They don't know I'm lonely. They don't know I'm kind, scared that I can't hack it with the current paradigm, worried that I can't keep up, or, you know, I'm not doing it right. The parts, like, you know, I'm lying in a car crash in a pile of broken glass. It's funny how it looks like glitter from the overpass. I'm in a pickup truck, the door is stuck, I'm sinking in the water. The girl inside is waving, but the people just applaud her. This is a cry for help, calling for assistance. You can't tell I need it when you're watching from a distance. And then again, yes, a reference back to I Never Loved You with the car crash. And a really, really cute serendipitous thing I love is how many of you guys were guessing that the name of this album was The Girl Inside before I had announced the title. Because it was a little private joke for me to giggle at, because I do say the girl inside is waving, but the people just applaud her. So it's another TGI acronym. Just shows how, you know, on the same wavelength we are in all our minds, and I really love that. And yeah, just, again, just another really tight chorus. Does a story die with its narrator? Surely it's forgotten sooner or later. Hope they spell my name right in the paper. In here lies the Great Impersonator.
In here lies the Great Impersonator.
The girl in the tower once cried out for hours, then planted a garden to pick herself flowers. But came summer's poison and turned the fruit sour. Her teeth meet the flesh she begins to devour. Then back, like it never had left, came her power, delighted and louder. They're raging at me.